the enemy of Buddha, the supreme enjoyer, the all attractive one, and the horse headed incarnation. Lord Hari Krishna incarnated as the half man, half lion, and a symbol. He appeared as a god Brahmana named Vedya and is a ruler of the. He is the beloved son of the king of Braja, Nanda Maharaj, and is blackish in complexion. He is the slayer of Putana witch and the destroyer of the demon Kali. All glories to Lord Hari, who appeared as Lord Ram, son of King Dasa. He is the darling of Mangalasha, the giver of pleasure, the cows, land, and spiritual senses, and the protector of. He is the Lord of the Vrindavan forest, the gopis beloved, the lover of the Tikas, and the most beautiful personality in all the world. As Ramachandra, he brought about the end of the demonic king Ravana. As Krishna, he stole the older gopis' butter. He stole the younger gopis' clothes while they were bathing in Yamuna. He is a covered boy of riches and the protector of the covered boys. He steals the hearts of all and always holds the truth. Lord Krishna is worshipped by the best of deities and is a son of God. He removes all the fears of the inhabitants of Braja. He is the color of fresh rain cloud, and his form is enchanting. When he wanders about playing his flute, he looks very charming. He is the son of Yashoda and the killer of King Kamsa, and he sports in the Rasa dance among the groves of Braja. Krishna engages in this Rasa dance underneath the Kadamba trees, and he resides in the forest of Nirmala. He increases the ecstasy of the devotees. He is the reservoir of all love and is the transcendental Cupid who uses his flowered arrows to increase the loving desires of the devotees. He is the pleasure of the devotee's heart and the abode of all wonderful qualities. Lord Krishna is the life of the river Yamuna. He is always absorbed in glorious pastimes, and he is the moon of the devotee's mind, which are like the chakora birds that subsist only upon moonlight. O mind, obey these words of mine and sing the glories of Shri Krishna in the form of these holy names, which are full of material willows. नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम 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 नमो भगवते नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नारायणं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु भागवत्या भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्ति भवती reading from Canton 2, chapter 9, text 29. Bhagavat Dikshitam Aham Bhagavat Chikshitam Aham Bhagavat Chikshitam Aham Ravani Ti Tantritaha Ravani Tantritaha. Anything wrong? Otherwise, na ihamalah praja sargam ihamalah praja sargam sargam adhyayam yet anugraha adhyayam yet anugraha. भगवच्चिक्षितं महं कर्माणि यतन्त्रितः लीहमान प्रजा भज्येयं यत् अनुग्रहात् भगवच्चिक्षितं महं कर्माणि यतन्त्रितः लीहमान प्रजा सर्वं बध्ययं यत् अनुग्रहात् भगवच्चिक्षितं महं कर्माणि यतन्त्रितः नियमानः प्रजा सर्गं बध्येयं यत् अनुग्रहात् by the personality of God. Shikshitam thought, myself, Adavani, by acting, certain things, Atandritaha, instrumental, na, never, Yamana, all the acting, Praja Sargam, generation of the living entities. Adhyayam, by deconditioned, yet as a matter of fact, Anugraha, by the mercy of. Translation and book by His Divine Grace. Avaya Charanarvinda Bhakti Swami. Translation. Please tell me so that I may be taught in the matter by instruction of the personality of God. May thus act instrumentally to generate unity without being conditioned by such activity. Brahmaji does not want to become a speculator dependent on the strength of his personal knowledge, addition to the bondage. Everyone should know in clear consciousness that one is in the execution. Everyone should know in clear consciousness that one is in the execution of all activities and instruments. A conditioned soul is instrumental in the hands of external Gunamaya, Maya, or the usual energy of the Lord. And in the liberated state, the divinity is instrumental to the will of the personality of God, the product. To be instrumental to the direct will of the Lord is the natural constitutional position of the living entity. Whereas to be an instrument in the hands of the usual energy of God is material bondage for the living entity. In that conditioned state, the living entity speculates on the absolute truth and is different. But in the unconditioned stage, the living entity directly receives knowledge from the Lord, and such a liberated soul acts flawlessly without any speculative habit. Bhagavad Gita 10, chapter 10, 11 confirms emphatically that the pure devotees who are constantly engaged in the loving transcendental service of the Lord are directly advised by the Lord, so much so that the devotee unwaveringly makes progress on the path home back to God. Pure devotees of the Lord are therefore not proud of their definite progress, whereas the non-devotee speculator is in the darkness of illusion energy and is very much proud of his misleading knowledge based on speculation without any definite path. Lord Brahma wanted to be saved from that pitfall of pride, although he was posted in the most exalted position within the universe. Translation. Please tell me, so that I may be taught in the matter by the instruction of the personality of God, and may thus act instrumentally to generate living without being conditioned by such activities. So, Namo Vishnupadaya Vishnupadaya Bhutale Swami Pinaya Namaste Saraswati Bhavani Pratani Nirvishela Dhunyavadi Vasta Pradeshakaya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Vedanta Shivasati Guru Bhattacharya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Chaitanya Vishnu Padanamayam Dadari Pateham Shri Guru Shri Yudhavaram Shri Guru Vaishnavam Virupam Sarvajatam Sarvanatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Padayana Saitam Krishna Chaitam Nadivam Radha Krishna Padam Sagarnalita Shri Charanamita Vachakalpatarvishta Prasad Guru Jyamcha Patitana Bhavadebhyo Vaishnavyo Mukam Karoti Vajana Mukam Nandrite Shri Guru Jaratayana Kripatamam Mande Padamahandamadhavam Jai Chaitanya Guru Lord Brahma is asking the right things to the Lord, especially to be blessed so that he can continue with the assignment he is assigned with matter of creation. At the same time, he is well aware that engaging in activities means identification with oneself and tendency to consider oneself as a doer. That is the meaning of being conditioned by what we do. The conditioning that we are the doers. Even though the activity belongs to the Supreme Lord, we are naturally conditioned to do that. Because effort is there. Effort comes from us. But what we forget is that even though the willpower is there in us to do, the willpower is still living entities. It belongs to the living entity. The only thing we have is the will to do, our freedom to do, our decision to do. But once that willpower is there, when we conduct the activity, whatever it is, speaking, working, lifting, walking, running, talking, to be different forces of function perform. I may feel that I am the doer, I am lifting this book. I may feel I am the talker, but do I have any control over my tongue? Do I know even the mechanism of it? Do I know how the sound is produced? Do I have any control over my sound? To speak like somebody else. I have absolutely no control over the mechanism of speech. But I am speaking. Because I am speaking, I feel that I am the doer. The entire mechanism is going on, which is totally outside my control. And the result, I have no idea of. That belongs to anybody. So things are all 90% of the things are out of my control when I use it. But still, I think that this is the Mama Maya, the Maya, which makes us to feel that I'm the doer because I have come here to do. Giving up the doership of the Lord and giving up the way He wants us to act, allowing Him to act us whichever way He wants. We felt sometime around. And the moment we think that we are the doer, then spiritual world is not the place for us. The Lord has created this material world with all its necessary parts and parcels, all the necessary mechanisms and energies and different things are placed. This is what a devotee considers as the mercy of God or the love of the Lord. Just like when a son goes astray, the love of the father doesn't stop there. Even though the son has gone out of the house, the father would provide all the necessary things for him without his knowledge. The son will think that he is doing it, but the loving father is making all the arrangements. Same way, the loving Supreme Lord is making all the arrangements for the living entities to think that he is a doer and do in this material world. But only fallacy, only price the living entity has to pay is to be bound by those actions, to be bound by the fruits of the action, whether favorable or not. The favorable fruits and unfavorable fruits are. And we have no idea what we are going to get. But I think that I am doing. So this doership, which is very, 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 very deeply inbuilt in us, is the reason why we are here, the reason why we continue to be here, and the reason why we cannot. So the moment we realize this concept, which is very difficult, and it's only allowed for those who have got the mercy of God. Hence, the Lord is saying that I am the swift deliverer of living entities. By just depending upon me and doing your activities, I will save you from this danger. So the prerogative of acting in this material world without being touched by the results of this material world is only for the devotees for surrender. Now, what is the quality of surrendering to the Lord? Or how do you mention who is surrendering to the Lord? Or how will we gauge ourselves to be a surrender? Now, that is what we need to do in our day-to-day life. To keep check and balance and see that we are surrendered to God, because our mind, without our knowledge, takes away from the surrender atmosphere. We may feel very surrendered at one point of time. Suddenly we may not feel surrendered by the Lord. Sometimes we feel surrendered, but we're doing something else. So we go by the tendency of the mind, which is unaware. Mind is taking us and making us feel different things different times. Like somebody who's taken drugs. Somebody who takes drugs and becomes a drug addict. And he wants to get out of that addiction. And the de-addiction program, if he continues to follow that with the help of a institution who does the program, he goes through a lot of troubles. There's nobody troubling him. What is troubling him? Mind is making him feel. His body is. They say the body goes through so many difficulties. Feels cold, feels hot, feels vomiting, feels head is breaking, head is splitting apart, and he's feeling all these kind of things. Nothing is happening. But he's feeling it, right? So the game that the mind plays is tremendous. Like Prabhupada says, cold water, hot water, good weather, bad weather, cold weather, all these are not what is troubling us. Mind is what is. Well, summer we feel cold water very nice. In winter, the same cold water is very dangerous. What does the water do? Water didn't do anything. It's the mind which is feeling, up and down. Our dependence on the mind is so much. We are so much lost, covered by this mind, but then we go with this. And what is mind? Mind is a very, very unfabulous monkey which has no direction, which is just a sphere of experiences, past experiences and imagined experiences. At the different times, it makes us feel that, and we succumb to that without any help to get out of it. So this mind, but this same very mind is given so much importance because it can lead us to the Supreme Lord also. So taming the mind becomes such an important role in spirituality. A basic necessity is spirituality. If I am a spiritualist, I'm controlling the mind. You don't need to be a spiritualist to control the mind. Controlling the mind is not spiritual. It's material. They're using certain material techniques to control the mind. The controlling mind is nothing spiritual. After controlling the mind, you are meditating on the spiritual subject matter, then that is spiritual. After controlling the mind, you are doing activities in the material world on behalf of the Supreme Lord, that is spiritual. That is transcendental. Even super materialist, intelligent person, he can control his mind. Which is just like a technical person, a bodybuilder can build his body the way he wants. You want him to be double his weight, you give him 3 months' time, he knows how to do it. You tell him, no, or an actor, tell him, no, the next film you have to be everything better. And in 3 months' time, he will control his eating, make his body so emaciated, look like a baby. All this is happening because of controlling. What is spiritual in this? Nothing spiritual. It is just determination. Well, of course, what is driving that determination is he will get crores of rupees. He will get crores of rupees, so he is ready to do it. So that makes it super material, not even a sattvic material. So being a spiritualist is different. Being a spiritualist means to engage in the desires. Mind control, body control, sense control, everything gets included in it. It helps. That is a requirement to reach the ultimate goal through that process. So people do not understand the gravity of yoga because it looks very simple. But Bhakti Yoga is a very great thing where we are acting in our constitutional position as if we are living. When we are not living, acting, doing devotions, which slowly change the mind, purifies the senses, over and above, it gives the mercy of God, which is a prerequisite to detach from this devotion. To detach from this devotion, we cannot do it. Very difficult for us to detach ourselves from what we are doing. But when we are surrendered to the Lord, when the Lord's mercy is there, then our doing does not, or we don't get controlled, we don't get bound by what. Until then, we are bound by what. But when you're doing Krishna service, even though in the material mind, the bondage is not as thick as the bondage of a materialistic mind. That is the difference between a karma and a sadhana. We cannot say ourselves devotee, sadhana. A practicing devotee, he does action. He goes out, he walks, he drives, he talks. And the karmi also does the same thing. But the goal, the purpose, the directive is spiritual. Direction of the spiritual master, act by the sastras, give the result to the Supreme Lord. Hence, result becomes a very important criteria. Where the result goes becomes a very important criteria in our getting bound or not. If the result is going for oneself or an extended oneself, then it is knowledge. If the result goes nothing for me, it is for the Lord. That is super. It is a spiritual. Hence, it is said that a devotee does not take any benefit from what he is doing. That is what is minimum needed for us. That is how Bhagavatam starts. Starts by saying that Indriya, acting by the Indriya, you get result, but the result of those or the benefit of those profit, where is it going? Knows it was? Indriya Priti So when that profit is not useful, right? The second chapter. Sorry, first and second chapter. That is the basis of Bhagavatam. What is minimum required for you, you take, and balance is used in Krishna. So, the result of our action plays a very important role in deciding whether the activity we are doing is spiritual or not spiritual. Hence, Prabhupada engages us in activities and denies us the results of activity. That is the training of the spiritual. Engaging the disciples in activities and seeing that the disciple does not enjoy it. Very painful. But goes, not one by seconds for my decision making. Decision making is big. If I have money and I'm taking the decision how to spend it, that means you are enjoying the result of it. So if I'm collecting money and bringing money, and I have no right to decide, I'm free from the results. This is the criteria whether our activities are devotional or not. I'm talking about money because we are already more influenced. It could be anything. It could be singing. I'm singing, making makes videos and social media. And we are very anxious to know how many people are my followers, how many minds I have captured. It is all nothing but eating oneself. So devotees don't, as far as Prabhupada don't engage in such activities which will increase his passion for result. Rather, a devotee will like to sit for the Lord and sing for the Lord's sake. Or he can also sit in front of the Lord and sing, and his attention will be for people sitting behind. How many people are enjoying this? The person who's standing in the front is the Lord, and hundreds of people are sitting behind. So when he is singing, he feels that how much is being I'm entertaining the people, or I'm talking. How many people are enjoying me? So the intention of enjoying the results of our activities determine whether we must do this. If we are purely dedicating it for the Lord, not for me, in whole spirit of it. then it doesn't matter what we are, big, small, beautiful, small, the insignificant, humble. This can happen. Like Prabhupada said, even a rickshaw puller in Calcutta thinks that he's a great man. He's a great puller. So, external greatness and internal greatness is a big difference. And that is what Brahma is praying. Let me not be tangled by what I'm doing, not being conditioned by such. In fact, that is the most important line. In the entire spiritual sadhana we do, the most important line is not be conditioned by the activity. Because activity is not important. Activity is based upon money. I can do something big, I do. I cannot do big, I can do something small, do something. I can't do this, I can do something. What we do is totally dependent upon our previous. I have good karma to do big things. But you do big things and think that you are doing no use. I have no karma, I can only sit and make flower gardens. But if I'm doing the small flower garden work or cleaning work and thinking that I'm not a doer and going on being conscious of that, he is super spiritualist, that's this great man doing great things. This secret is the crux of spiritual devotion. That is hitting the real core of materialism. If we can hit at this core of materialism, then we can. And this is what is Bhagavad Gita called as snake without the fangs. He can engage in any activity without being contaminated by the material. Because contamination or no contamination, what is the basis? I'm in the material, I'm in the water swimming. Now you're telling me not to get wet. Wetness depends upon whether I'm enjoying the result or not. That's all. This concept has to be understood when we do any activity. And especially for us, because Prabhupada engaged us in activities, doing action. That's the first step. Doing action, not doing Vishram in the ashram. So Prabhupada did not call this an ashram. It's called ashram. That is called movement. Movement is a very vibrant. So engaging in action is the first. Because when you give up material activities and come to so-called ashram, the first thing what comes up is lethargy. खाना पीना मिलेगा, सोने का जगह भी है, छत भी है. So main thing is act. So action is first thing. After action is the thing. Next thing is how not to be affected the result of action. Previously, Prabhupada did not talk very intricate subject of this reaction and action and the fruits. Prabhupada engage. Why? By such engagement, by such engagement, gradually mercy comes for the Supreme Lord. And only with the weapon of mercy we can get this detachment. Not by our own end. By standing upside down, do yoga, morning, one fine day, you free from the material. No, not possible. It's only when we engage in the preachy work of the Lord, of the spiritual master. When the devotees, when the boys and girls are engaging in activities told by spiritual master, then purification comes. And with this purification, we get that energy and the mercy of the Lord to detach. But that is the goal. Without that, it's not. So we have to be conscious of it. So engaging in the spiritual and engaging as per directed, that is another sign of being detached from the force. You can be engaged as per your will. I can say, I like to do this, I like to be engaged in this one. But there is nothing but the tendency to enjoy the food coming out of that. Hence, when I do the activity which is being told to do, which is not to my liking or maybe to my liking, I have more chance of being detached from the result. Hence, that the process of Prabhupada. That has to be done by Prabhupada and his by his institution. So these may be very unpleasant way of functioning to the mind, but they're very, very good for liberation. Because the happiness of the soul depends upon liberation or not. The more I'm liberated, the happier Ananda comes. Ananda comes from being free from Nirananda subject. Because the more I associate with this matter, which is nothing but needless, I will always be needless. The more I am attached to Rasamaya Supreme Lord's energy, I will also be. All the secret of it. And that should be the aim of our life. Apart from all other external success, failures, failure also can be. I can be totally, totally broken because I did this and brood over it. Sad, we are not enthusiastic, days, depression. Depression is nothing but eating one's food. Depression is nothing but enjoying my nonsense. Very difficult to believe how this is enjoyment. This is depression. And you are saying it is enjoyment. Yes. You can be in depression only when you are connected to the result of your body and mind. Same opposite, acceleration, jumping around because I got 1 crore. Or no collection for 1 month. Finish. So these are signs of eating the fruits or being conditioned by outcome. The spiritual life is not based upon the result. That is why I said. Even I can be a very conditioned person who, in my poverty, can be a very conditioned person in my richness. Both can bind me. My poverty can also bind me. My sadness also is binding me. My happiness is binding me. My riches are binding me. Hence, a spiritualist has nothing to do with profit, loss, rich, poor, beauty, ugly. Hence, he becomes Dvandva. Free from both the Dvandva. Good. Dvandvapitam Triguna Rahitam. This is a state of spiritual existence. So, no dvandva. No success, no. Gunatita. Not participating in sattva, just tamas. So this is when we become lotus peace like in the water. This is what Gita says, be the lotus which is in the water but not yet. So we are in a vegetable doing all wetness activities but Vishnu. And that's only connected to enjoying yourself. So action is a primary thing. And then purification of action is the next. So by action and purification of action, mind gets control, intelligence acts, Shastras come into picture, Lord's energy and Lord's mercy come into picture, and then you cross the material. So one of the biggest things which helps us along with action is acquiring knowledge. By knowledge, we can get the mercy of the Lord, we can get intelligence to direct the mind. Knowledge, along with our activities, knowledge has to be there. That is why we have our sadhanas in the morning, sadhanas in the evening, and books written by Prabhupada to engage our mind and intelligence in Shastric understanding, which we can contemplate on, which will help the mind to be directed. So when that is there, it helps. The endeavor to get knowledge is highest. According to our ability, we have to act, and according to our ability, we have to cultivate knowledge. When these two things are done, then they become a boat to cross over this material. which is nothing but attachment to one's activities. Everything in this material world starts with attachment to the results of our life. Hence, what we are doing is very purposeful. We are going out and doing a lot of activities, but nothing is forming. Everything we do, nothing is forming. So hence, our activities. So that is what Prabhupada do, because the passion is there to do. So he intelligently, very artistically engages in different activities of Krishna consciousness, in developing the movement, teaching, building up, engaging. But we have to know that these are all opportunities for getting conditioned. Hence, Mahabharata is saying, why are we doing this? Stop acting. Sit under a tree, give up everything, no problem. But all problems will come. Like Prabhupada said, monkeys in the Vrindavan, they only think about two things. So that doesn't help, especially in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the age of action. Satya Yuga is the age of inaction. Om Shanti. Everything is Shanti. Mind is also. But Kali Yuga, action. Hold this, running, running for what? Running for something which is created by itself. The wheel, what I call those wheels, where the squirrels run. The wheel is fixed, it is not going anywhere. But he is very active in running. So Kali Yuga is a time. So in such a time, nothing will work other than. And by good fortune and by the mercy of the Lord, we will learn how not to be connected to the result of action. By either by frustration in action or by the mercy of the Lord or by the blessing of the Lord. This is what Krishna has. In this way, step by step, we achieve perfection. This secret we have to know. That is why many people blame. No, don't do management. You want to deal with all this. No, don't do collection. You should only do book distribution. You should only do pujabi. You should only go and talk about this. Because what is action is not. How the action is. So the onus is on us. And the action is to do is not it's a direction. Whatever action to be done is a direction given to us. There is none of our business. The less and less we are attracted to what we do. Hence, Krishna said, do action as duty. Because in duty, that is why family life is a great opportunity to detach. But one of the good qualities of a blessed life is that it's forced. Life will beat him. The kids will beat him. The society will beat him. He is made to run because he has to. Hence, he is doing the duty. Hence, he is doing something. Agreed? The best event. One of the advantages in the midst of so many disciples. So, acting as a duty is more. Ultimately, at the end of the life, we should know that we are not attached to anything. Material people, when they retire, that is the time. They act till 60 years. After 60 years, they start thinking what all they did in 60 years and keep talking. Even though no action is done, he is fully active. No detachments. Rather, that's the time to forget what they did and catch on to switches. They won't do that. Have you heard? Any old man? And I was here, when I was doing that, They cannot give up their past. The devotee is not concerned with the past, success or failure. Oh, bad man he was. Oh. Devotee is Aryan. Aryan means progressively increasing. He's cultivating. He is Aryan, who is progressively increasing. So we are not our yesterday. If you're thinking of yesterday, you're still enjoying this. I don't brood over my sorrows, yesterday's sorrows, what happened to me, or what I did. But that doesn't mean an excuse for it to do bad. Today, if I have given up all my bad, or today I have given up all my endeavors for success, enjoying the result. Very important aspect what Brahma is talking here. He is not telling the Lord, Lord, now you are in front of me, please take me with you. The Lord cannot even take us. Why? I am fixed in enjoying my. As long as I am not free from that fixation, even the Lord cannot take me out of this. So please tell me, so I may be taught by the matter of instruction. So two things are here in this word, as I was talking about: action and knowledge. Brahma is asking both these things. Brahma is asking, give me, teach me. Then he's saying, let me not be conditioned by. These are the two crux of spiritual. Please tell me so that I may be taught in the matter by the instruction of the personality order, and may thus sit, act instrumentally to generate living entities, because that is his work. My work is to generate fund. My work is to preach. My work is to cook. My work is to do puja. My work is to clean. Same. Our prayer only should be give me knowledge and let me not be attached to the work. Thus act instrumentally to generate living entities without being conditioned by such. Very practical. And this people don't know that this is for teaching. Doesn't matter how many activities you like, doesn't matter how many kinds of things you wear, doesn't matter what kind of cloth you wear, doesn't matter what kind of society you are representing. What means is that are you cultivating knowledge? One, or number two, are you detaching yourself from that's it. Next.
Like many times we know that this action or something is not good for us. We are knowing of that the thing is going to harm me in my spiritual life or practicing. But still, that impulse come or we may indulge in that activity or that action.
That is why we need to cultivate knowledge to know that how that is bad. So by cultivating that kind of knowledge, we will slowly we will do that.
Yeah, even though I know that it is bad.
No, we don't know. We don't know. Knowing few slokas doesn't mean that. What is known? Knowing means it is applied knowledge. When you apply knowledge, you know, so knowing is different, realizing. But we should use the word realize. Until we realize, we will do this. Once we realize, we will do that. So it takes time from knowledge getting converted into realization. So we have to gain knowledge and apply the knowledge. That is the time. Now the time for realization. We will not. You'll be frustrated. We are trying to realize. We cannot. This is the time to cultivate. You're not remove, I'm not achieving, I'm not getting. You're not even started. What will you get? So since we are not even started, we don't think of the result. We should only spend our time in cultivating knowledge and practicing detachment. So that is why bhakti is always jnana, the realization, and detachment are the two things. Jnana. To cultivate, we have to cultivate it. Cultivating means nothing but practice.
Give an example, sitting and you'll meditating, how many people are seeing, watching. So in some cases, hearing and Krishna Katha, and he may enjoy that sense also. So hardly because preaching is not harmful. Preaching more people is also not harmful. But what we see that we have to change that only. I think in elaborate more.
You may be preaching to many people, but by doing that, what are we trying to achieve? We are trying to achieve our liberation and their liberation. We are not come to the stage of Vasudeva Datta saying that everybody will liberate and I will remain. We are saying that we are cheating us. We are not come to that state of bhakti or compassion. So today, our preaching is a sadhana. So in sadhana, we have to make sure that we are doing it to please Krishna as instrumental, like Brahma himself said, make me instrumental in my activity. Yes, I am supposed to create living entities and make facilities. That is my activity. But engage me in that with knowledge and detachment. And he is saying that our work is to preach. But while engaging in the preaching activities, we should also have jnana and understand that we have to detach and not do it for our own good. Because if you're doing it for your glorification, no matter how many people you deliver, you will not get it. People may hear and they will go up. I preach to you, wait for me to go. You preach to me, but Prabhu, that man will say, you preach to me and I learned what I should not do. Because you are preaching and enjoying your popularity. But I learned what you said and I practice and now I'm going up. So you cannot say that it is what is wrong. It is wrong, it is good activity. If you want to remain in support. But our purpose is not. Our purpose is liberation. We are doing it on behalf of our spiritual. I am not talking. What do I have to talk? I am talking about purpose. I am just parroting about purpose. I have nothing to talk and liberate anybody. The Prabhupada is liberating them. I have no action in liberating anybody. Everything he is doing, I am just instrument. I am not liberating him. I can't be liberated. Unless we are liberated, we cannot liberate anybody. Impossible. So thinking doesn't work. Yes, but I'm also enjoying. I'm enjoying in Krishna. Because there's no Krishna. I'm not talking Krishna. There's no Krishna. When there is only I there, there's no Krishna. I can only two people, either me or Krishna. Huh. It's a mixed thing, gradually get purified, but at least endeavor to purification. We cannot say that I'm enjoying my activity and others are also hearing, so it is good. It is good, but it's not enough. But that is instruction. Our purpose is for living in this picture. Until we come to the state of compassion, where I'm ready to take the karma of everybody, on behalf of everybody, I'm ready to be in this material world for leading something. We are not on that state. Prabhupada has not told us to practice further. Prabhupada said, go back to God. Prabhupada did not say, purify everybody and remain in this. This is not special. Devotees who can do that. That is also we understand. If I'm here, everybody is going. These are all our mind playing tricks on us. Excuses for the mind to keep enjoying, even in the name of spiritual. All show about of spiritualism. But if we have an order by the spiritual master, preach. If you have an order by the spiritual master, like Prabhupada had order, go out, preach, make disciples. Bhakti Siddhanta said two things. It will help the people who are hearing you and you. Read that letter? Both. It's not a question of when we preach, it helps them and it should help us also. How does it help us? It helps us by realizing and keeping in our mind that I am an instrument, I should not test the result, and I should not go to this name, fame, puja, pratishtha, lava thing. That is for us. I know something. You know, we all know how to go back to God. We know. We cannot say, I mean, we know. We do. Please.
From here, oh no, I'll get in devil, I'll not preach people. Instead of that, preach and
No.
trade yourself in that.
Exactly.
The thing will come.
You
Puja, pratishtha,
you can sit in a corner and say that I will not go to preach, but you will be full of materialism. The activity does not stop you from materialism or not. As Prabhupada said, engage, do gradually. That's what I said. And that's exactly what Prabhupada said, very gradually. But you should know this also. Know this also that that is not all in one. Not get lost in that. You have to keep both and doing. That way, that Madhavendra Puri would have stayed in that town and made himself a great man. That people let people see how a great devotee acts. But so when Madhavendra Puri is scared about puja, pratishtha, who are you and me? So we took both. This is the combined. Doesn't mean that I maintain my puja, I maintain my pratishtha, I maintain my desire. I have it. Have it. I know I have it, but I should try. Not that I maintain it. That is what the offense is. What I'm trying to maintain. Our weakness is not the problem. Problem is our desire to be. We should try to give it up. Weakness will be there. And some devotees will tell, oh, elders will preach, seniors will tell, or you yourself will realize different ways. You have to keep going forward. We should not get stuck thinking that I'm doing great benefit to the world. There is no use of doing great benefit to the world when you're not benefiting yourself. Charity, we can say. That is also important. But in the name of that, you should not simply sit. Fearing, like fearing this. Oh, if I this Sukadeva Goswami, I'm afraid to come out of the material. I better sit in the womb. We cannot imitate that. I better sit in my ashram. Because in the ashram also, the whole world is with you. If you don't go to the world, the whole world will come to you inside the room where you're staying. So better go out of the room to the world and expose and get unified. But they said that a transcendentalist should feel full of association in the midst of the forest, and you should feel totally ekanta in the middle of all the material. So you put a devotee in the middle of material world, he should feel ekanta. And when he is put ekanta, if he is sitting alone, he doesn't feel alone because he is in the midst of entire transcendence. He feels peace, the matter is saying, he feels peaceful in both situations. Alone in the room or is in the midst of. But that doesn't make a difference. You can be in Maya alone. You can be liberated in the midst of. That is the quality of a transcendence. That ability we should come. Some people say, I don't like to sit in the ashram. That is all our routine activities. For a few days, there's no preaching, you should be feeling. COVID time, many devotees felt very restless. Sitting, nothing to do. But if he's an experienced transcendentalist, he should be feeling happy. He has so many things to do to keep his mind. So we were so conditioned to do it, go and do this. And he doesn't feel lonely. So there are some powers that